Welcome back, everybody. So today I'm going to be sharing with you a full guide, a data science guide for those who are aspiring or those who are looking to get into the data science field. So the first part that we are going to be looking at is programming. And Python is one of the most common, and it is very user-friendly, very easy to learn and navigate. So the first will be Python. So you want to be familiar with the syntax. You want to be familiar with certain basics. And when I say basics, that's what I mean. You want to learn the foundations. You want to learn the foundations. You don't really have to get advanced or elaborate. Just simply learning the basics and building on top of that. So you want to learn variables, data types. You want to understand dictionaries. You want to understand so this has everything here. Casting, so this is conversion. You want to understand data types, what I was saying earlier, built-in data types. So strings, ints, floats, booleans. Just get familiar with the basics and build off of that. And I would say a good month would be great learning the basics of Python. And so here are some great resources for you. W3 Schools, as well as DataCamp. DataCamp has a beginner's Python sort of tutorial. It teaches you how to install, whether you have a Mac or a PC. And it has everything to get you started with the installation process as well as the basics of Python. So get your hands dirty and I would definitely install this and just go through the tutorials and have an open mind and understand that Python is not hard to learn at all. It is not hard to learn at all. It is very, like I was saying, it's very easy for beginners, or I should say it's very beginner friendly. I learned this without having any prior background, and it didn't take long at all for me to grasp the concepts. So I'm just showing you here that this is Code Academy. Code Academy has a full course here, Learn Python 3. And this is for the beginners. They're saying that it takes approximately 25 hours. So basically they're saying in a day. And I'm saying really, if you spend about 4 to 5 hours a day for about a month, this would be good. So you have a grasp on Python. Make sure to install your IDE or your integrated development environment to where you are actually implementing and having a hands-on approach where you are actually coding along with these tutorials. Don't just sit back and let the tutorials watch you, right? So you have to be hands-on with this, and you have to get in there and really apply the concepts that you're learning. So again, so this is this portion here. And then, with data science, we have to do a lot of data cleaning, data transformation, exploratory data analysis. And so I listed pandas as well as NumPy. These are libraries within Python. And I listed some subcategories of what you should be familiar with: data structures, data frame creation, indexing and slicing, like subsetting data, data cleaning. Like I said, the data sets will not be clean. They will not be clean. Like 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to do some type of transformation, some type of manipulation to turn that data frame into something that is usable, something that you can ingest and use. And so you want to be familiar with that process: filtering, querying, aggregation, grouping, merging data sets, joining data sets, learning the input and output functions, and as well as data exploration. Data exploration is the foundation in a lot of, it is the foundation in data analysis. That is getting descriptive statistics and really understanding your data, understanding the shape, the dimensions of that. So this is very important to know. And then we talk about the visualization. You don't have to learn both Seaborn or Matplotlib. Seaborn is a sort of higher level visualization. These are both within Python. And then matplotlib, you have this as well. Seaborn is built atop matplotlib. So this is really great for visualizations. And now we are going to look at NumPy. So NumPy is another library that you should be familiar with. And again, you do not have to be familiar with advanced topics. We are talking about the basics, the fundamentals, so that once you have the basics down, you can build atop that. Think of it as layering, right? You want to have this foundation so that you have a full understanding. So when you do get to advanced topics, it's going to come easier to you. And so we're looking at the NumPy documentation here. This is telling you what NumPy stands for. It's telling you how to install it, how to import NumPy. And I was saying you should have 1 full month of really understanding the concepts of Python. That's the Python basics, as well as NumPy library and Pandas. So that's included when I mentioned the 1 month. And you want to set aside about 4 to 5 hours every day for 1 month and really drill down and understand this. And when you import the data and when you install Jupyter Notebook, really get a hands-on feel for this. I think the video got cut, but I was trying to show you, you can also go to W3 Schools for NumPy, for it has a list of certain, it has tutorials. And then we're going into Pandas. So Pandas, this is very important. A lot of times we will have to be, actually majority of the time, right, with data scientists, the data will not be clean. So we are having to transform and manipulate the data. And it is very important that you understand and get familiar with Pandas. This is the documentation here. It's got tutorials. It gives you examples, getting started with Pandas. It tells you what Pandas is, what type of data it handles. Really understand how to ingest the data, how to write the data back to your local drive. It's giving you ways to plot the data. So look how this is pretty cool. It's literally step by step. And here's a Titanic data set here. And then you can go to the raw data, and all you have to do is just hit save as. You're saving that as a CSV file, and it shows you how to actually read this data into Python or into your Jupyter Notebook. I'm just showing you do save as, and you would ingest that. You have that data now in your file explorer. So then you point to that directory and you can pull that data in. And like I said, you want to be very hands-on. Don't just look at these tutorials. Don't just read the tutorials. It's nothing like actually taking the tutorials and physically typing the code, physically seeing what happens, experimenting with it. And that's how you get familiar, and that's how you get good. And so another thing, we're looking at Seaborn. This is so beautiful. So Python has these beautiful visualization libraries. Seaborn, matplotlib. Like I was saying before, Seaborn is built atop matplotlib. Look at these gorgeous visualizations. Like, this gets me really excited. I enjoy, after you're doing the data analysis, now we can visualize our data. And so we have different sort of ways to express or tell our story. And data scientists, you have to be good in, after you're analyzing the data, you have to express and tell the story. You have to convey the message to stakeholders. You have to be able to allow all this data that you've gathered for it to be easily ingested to those who you are explaining your analysis to. And so Seaborn, and these are all great libraries to assist you in the art of storytelling. And Matplotlib, this is the documentation. It's showing you a simple way of how to learn Matplotlib. It's telling you about the types of inputs, types of plots, what the output looks like. So it's literally going step by step. And so when you have your Jupyter Notebook open, please apply what you're learning. Take this information in, and like I said, don't just look at it, do it. Data science, you have to get into the habit of doing. this is some fancy animations here. We're just showing you what Matplotlib is capable of. This is PyPlot. So just take a look at this. And again, this is literally straight from the documentation. What better way than to learn than from the source? So this is just some other items here, just showing you that it can go from basics to advanced. But here, really all you have to worry about is, not even worry about, what you should learn is the basics. So now let's move on to mathematics. So a lot of people are wondering, what type of math do I have to know for data science? Heavily know statistics and probability. And it's really the fundamentals, it's the basics. Get an understanding of descriptive statistics, probability distributions, A and B testing, hypothesis testing, sampling techniques, statistical modeling, Bayesian statistics, and time series. So these are to name a few here. But yeah, get started with these. Understand the basics like mean, median, mode, understand standard deviation, understand variability, variance, and then with linear algebra, you should know this because when you're looking at machine learning algorithms, it allows you to understand the theory and the concepts. And yes, there are libraries in Python where you are inputting data and it's giving you the output, so the algorithm is sort of in the background. But it is good to understand the concepts so that if something is not right or something doesn't look right, you'll know why, and you can know how to optimize. So under linear algebra, this is for optimization, interpretation, like interpreting your output, linear regression. With calculus, you don't have to know a ton, but it is good to know for optimization, gradient descent, linear regression, as well as loss and cost function. So I've listed these mathematics here so that you can have a clear sort of bird's eye view of what is to be expected when you are working in this field. And so to understand this, you can look at Khan Academy. Khan Academy is a great resource for all of the math that I just listed here. So he's got the statistics, the probability. He's got different units, unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, unit 4. So I would spend a good month on math, really understanding, and even if you had gone to school for this, just get a refresher for it. Understand confidence intervals, understand, like I was saying, the basics of statistics, the basics of probability. So I'm also showing you here, also have linear algebra. So just go through this and get a refresher. Really immerse yourself into these concepts and get an understanding for it. You'll see how this applies when you start learning machine learning. And definitely when we are talking about data science, we will have to know SQL. SQL, Structured Query Language. You definitely have to be familiar with this. Companies have their data stored in a database, and you will have to know how to retrieve that data. Again, with SQL, you don't have to know really advanced topics. Start with the basics, start with the foundation. I think that's what gets people sort of nervous, where they think they have to know everything. No, you have to crawl before you walk, and you have to walk before you run. And so just understanding these basics will definitely help you in your journey. And as far as tutorials go for SQL, W3 Schools again, yes, you can come here and really understand the syntax, the different statements, and how to begin to learn how to retrieve data. What is the language for retrieving data from the databases? So you can go here to the left-hand side and it will show you. And also mode SQL, this was one of my favorite sort of tutorials. They have hands-on like databases where you can actually practice. This tells you what is SQL, how do you pronounce it, show me examples, And so it's showing you how you can actually use SQL in mode. So they have this platform here, this interactive platform where you could actually run these statements. You could run your queries. They're called queries, and you can see your output. So this is amazing. It gets those brain neurons firing, and you're now building connections, and you are really understanding the concepts. So I like to stress that you have to do. It's in the art of doing. And also learning ERD, learning the entity relationship diagram. This is a good video here. So you can go to lucidchart.com and look at the diagrams. And this tutorial will give you an overview of what an ERD is. So it's good to understand the basics of that, the foundation, so that you can understand what the relationships are. And yes, Excel, I would definitely understand the basics, the foundations of this. Excel is used more than a lot of folks know in data science. So understand data manipulation, VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, basic modeling, if you want to do like regression, basic functions, formulas, sum, average, count, min, max. W3 Schools does have a basic tutorial. So you have here, right here, it just shows you pivots, it shows you different functions and how you can utilize Excel. But for a more comprehensive tutorial, I would definitely go to YouTube and check out Layla. Layla's videos are very comprehensive, very easy to follow, and she's just an Excel guru. So I definitely recommend Layla. And so she's got her playlists here. And what I would go to is she's got her, let's see, I think it's the Excel introduction, not this one. That's Power BI. That's a visualization tool. But you want to go to the Excel introduction, the Learn Excel Basics, and go through her playlists. Most importantly, most specifically, you want to look at pivoting, pivots, VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, basic formulas and function. And so with this, I would say a good 2 weeks for Excel, about a week to 2 weeks for Excel. And now we are heading on to machine learning. So machine learning, there's many different types of machine learning. You definitely want to understand the concepts and understand how to implement and deploy models. We have K-means, clustering, feature engineering, supervised, unsupervised learning, optimization techniques, and then, cross-validation, regularization. And then we get into deep learning, which encompasses the artificial neural networks, the LSTM models, autoencoders. So there's a lot of models that data scientists deploy. And so you want to definitely begin with the basics. So just understanding what is machine learning, right? Like just understanding what is machine learning. And so you can begin here at Pluralsight, a cloud guru, and this tells you the basics. It's saying, what is machine learning? What is not machine learning? How can I use machine learning? So it's good to understand. I always stress the basics and the foundations and then building on top of that. So this is a good starter. And then you can go to Code Academy. And this sort of gets more in depth. It's for a beginner. They're giving it about 4 weeks. I would say, yes, with machine learning, about a month is good. About 1 month would be good for you to understand and really gain the knowledge with machine learning. And again, you're not going to know everything. So this is more so for a beginner, 1 month, just so that you can get the foundations and the basics and get familiar with this. You also want to learn deep learning specialization. Andrew Ng. He has this course. It's on Coursera. I would highly recommend this specialization. They're saying it would take 3 months. I think 3 months is for the full course, though. Like, I think that's for the full specialization. I would recommend just choosing one. You don't have to choose all of these, but I would just recommend choosing one and getting familiar with deep learning. Another great resource, CS50. So for those of you who have zero computer science background, this course is widely recognized as one of the sort of best courses as a foundational beginner's way of really understanding the basics of computer science. And I believe you can audit this. So you can audit this course. You don't have to, I believe it's saying $200. That's just if you want to get that certificate. If you do not want the certificate, you can audit. You should be able to take it for free. If you see that you can't take the course for free, just go on YouTube and Google CS50, and you should be able to access the course. Okay, so GitHub. So a lot of times when you're working in software companies or the major tech companies, they have some type of repository system, some place where your data, where your scripts, your code is being hosted, places where your code is being reviewed or merged. And so it is good to just understand those concepts, right? It's good to understand these concepts because in the real world, you will most likely have to utilize this. And then I've listed some other things for soft skills. It's not just about the technical skills. There will be a lot of Zoom meetings. There will be a lot of communication, brainstorming, understanding the problem, having business knowledge. You have to be a great communicator. You have to be good at asking questions. You have to be good at asking questions because sometimes when folks are asking you for a solution, they may not even know. So you have to be a good strategist and be almost like an investigator, like a detective. And so you have to know what questions to ask so that you know where to go to get the data, how to present the data, what is their end goal, what is it they're expecting. Also connections, like LinkedIn is very good for connections. Update your LinkedIn profile. Reach out to fellow data scientists, and you can do that through commenting under their posts. You can do that by just asking questions. It's good to gain some type of rapport, good to gain some type of repetition with them, positive reputation. And then also you want to look at Kaggle. So Kaggle is a must as well. So this is where we really start getting hands-on with the data. Of course, you can do that in your IDE in Jupyter, but you want to go into Kaggle because you can grab these data sets. And now everything that you've learned, you can begin implementing and you can begin working on these things. So anything that you could pretty much think of, Kaggle has. Kaggle hosts competitions. It's a good way to collab. You see here, it shows different models. There's learning, there's tutorials. You see that I've gone through some of these tutorials here. So Kaggle is a great platform. It's just, I have nothing but good things to say about that. And then for Jira, I would definitely just take a little look at this. This is when sort of in a agile or a scrum environment, it sort of will help you understand how things are done in the real world. So yes, I would take a look at that. And then presentations, like I was saying, you're going to have to be able to communicate well, communicate your demos to stakeholders. And so just getting a feel for PowerPoint, understanding how to present, understanding how to create a presentation, and then understanding how to relay and communicate your presentation to stakeholders. The code is good once you feel that you're ready, you have your portfolio completed, you feel like you have the technical skills. You want to take a look, it's all about empowering yourself and taking a look and see, hey, so how are these interviews conducted? What should I know when I go do the interview process? So this has, it's got SQL language, it's got data structures and algorithms. It has different interview questions and ways how to navigate an interview. I was showing you Discord right there. This is to get connected with different communities. So the previous shot was just showing Discord, that you can join data science groups. This is showing you LinkedIn, how I was saying you can comment under folks' posts. So this is great. So guys, yes, if you enjoyed this video, I know it's a lot of information, but just go through it. And I would say a good 10 months to a year would be great for really understanding the basics if you really go hard and study about 4 to 5 hours every single day. I would say about 10 months is good. So yes, so please just look over this guide. If you have any questions, please don't forget to post these questions. If you have any comments, please let me know. I really enjoy making these videos, and do not forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Another note here, this is showing you Tableau. So there are visualization tools such as Power BI and Tableau, and I'm just showing you that Tableau has a learning path. So this is another visualization tool that you can use. You may be working with, there may be Tableau developers on your team, so you may be able to work with these folks, or you may have to actually create the visualization yourself. So I'm just wanting to keep you informed. And then this is Viz of the Day with Tableau. This is so cool because it shows you all these remarkable things, all these remarkable creations that you can create in Tableau. And so I like coming here because it just shows like an array of all the elaborate, beautiful visualizations that Tableau is capable of creating. And so definitely take a look at this. It's a Viz of the Day Tableau, and you can just explore and look at all the details and look at the elaborate designs that these creators have published on here. And look at this, zodiac constellations. There's a lot of interactive designs here, interactive graphs, interactive visuals, interactive creations. So, all right, guys, well, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video.